Tomorrow at noon Eastern, the 119th session of Congress begins. The first question before the newly elected Congress is going to be, will Mike Johnson be the Speaker of the House? Basically, if any two Republicans vote against him, he loses. Now, I understand math a little bit, but this seems like more than one.
He can only afford to lose one Republican vote. Republican Congressman Thomas Massie has already said he won't be backing Johnson.
Why are you not committed to Speaker Johnson as the next Speaker of the House?
Well, I'll tell you, I look at people's track record, and unfortunately, we will not be able to deliver on President Trump's agenda, as the same happened in 2016, because it has to be done legislatively if we don't have Speaker with the courage, vision, and a plan.
I remain undecided, as do a number of my colleagues, because we solved so many of the failures last year. Right now, I don't believe that he has the votes on Friday.
Remember that nothing can be done in the new Congress until a speaker is chosen. It cannot swear in new members. It cannot form committees. It cannot pass legislation. It cannot certify Donald Trump's election.
That's where he was going with this. It cannot certify Donald Trump's presidency. I was kind of figuring that's where this was going. I just hate news network channels. I like the spin. I like the opinion. I like all that shit. But I don't like that bullshit. You know, you pretend to be a person, a lover of America, a lover of this country. And you guys are doing the exact same shit Donald Trump was doing. It's just like nobody who gets elected in really looks back like and thinks about how they got where they got and why they got there. They just get where they got and they start doing their own shit. And these people here, this is just the worst shit in the world. Now we don't have to swear in Donald Trump. But we got to certify a president. We need to govern somehow, some way. I don't know what's going on with this country and this putting their pride and their feelings and their own beliefs ahead of what's going to help us as American people. That pisses me off.
Election victory. Electing a Speaker of the House on day one is supposed to be a formality. It's not supposed to be hard. So this fight over the speaker's gavel doesn't bode well for the ability of this incoming Congress to actually govern. Joining us now is the Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett of Texas. Congresswoman, good to see you. Thank you for being with us again. This begs a question for Democrats who tend to be pretty disciplined about this stuff. Certainly the last time around, every time Kevin McCarthy was trying to get an election, everybody voted for Hakeem Jeffries on the Democratic side. Obviously, that's going to happen as well tomorrow. But at what point do Democrats feel any responsibility or compulsion to get involved and say, all right, at some point, the work of the people has to get done, and you all aren't doing it?
In my opinion, that point will not be reached.
Damn. In her opinion, that point will not be reached. This new ass Congresswoman is like just going on with the flow of what they've been doing. They just lost the election. They pissed off. And now we gonna get punished for it. Because they want to just sit back now and fold their arms and let the Republicans figure it out or not figure it out. I'm going to tell you some shit. The thing that pisses me off the most is that the Democrats will work with Republicans. They just don't like these Donald Trump Republicans. They don't like what Donald Trump is doing. And anybody in this country who is dissatisfied about any part of the government in any kind of goddamn way, give it a minute. Why is it different with Donald Trump? He's a failure as a businessman. Everybody know Donald Trump ain't no big bad wolf when it come down to business. He's done nothing but marketed his name and a false person. And that shit works. He as a person, I don't know what his net worth is, but whatever his net worth is, it's built on him, his name. Nothing he's done. He ain't done no big fancy deals. He talks about it. But he ain't really done that shit. But yeah, the Democrats are willing to bring the country down to a grinding, slow halt and punish us all because they lost an election. Because we didn't elect the Democrats. Because if we had, then we'd be going through this in the reverse. I mean, at some point, we got to have a change. And if Donald Trump is going to bring a change, as bad as we might like him personally, but he's going to give us a chance to upset this apple cart that we call the United States government, the United States duopoly, or whatever you want to call it. And then you get brand new congresswomen in who don't give me a breath of fresh air, who don't make me feel good going to sleep at night with my grandchildren growing up in this country and knowing that she's going to be vengeful and spiteful and pissed off and all of those things that a person who's participating in the governance of a country should be. She should be none of those things. And she's a pissed off, angry, upset person when she's an elected official and she's in a position to do something. There's no reason to be mad. You should be as calm and as poised and as thoughtful as you can be, and not all this.
And they have gone around, they have talked about how there is a mandate and that this country issued a mandate for the Republicans to run something. Well, the country about to find out. We are in the find out phase.
I don't know, man. I just can't believe that she could get any glee out of any potential for this country to not move forward. If you have to compromise with the opposing side and you are blessed to only have one opposing side to have to deal with, and y'all can't even do that. You guys are getting to the point where you're just grinding this shit down to a halt, to a complete stop. And with that, maybe we need a Donald Trump. And it might not be him, but the idea and the groundwork that he is laying right now, I don't think we're going to ever be able to continue in this duopoly the way we have been. I just don't see it. Not with people like her, and not with this country just ain't going for it. We just ain't going for it. We put up with way too much of this. And now we're starting to see the newer congresswomen and the newer senators coming in, and the vice president, current vice president, being a fairly new politician. These people aren't from the 90s and the 80s, and these people are fresh, and it's so discouraging to see what we're seeing out of some of them. Jasmine Crockett is a huge disappointment for Democrats and for black people. We got nothing to look forward to with the person who is going to just be the next Maxine Waters or be the next. No, we need something new. We need somebody who really disagrees with the way this country is running and to take your position as an elected official and do some shit about it. Do something. You'll get the support. People like you, Jasmine Crockett. I don't know why. They like you. But you're just disruptive right now, intentionally. And with the smirk on your face, because you think that it'll teach us a lesson. Well, you can't teach black people a lesson because we've been voting for the Democrats above 80%. Black men are falling apart in our support for the Democrats, and we still voted in 75%. That's strong. That's strong. And you want to act like you're going to teach us a lesson? What do we have to do for you guys to get up off your asses and do something for us? You should be concentrating on your district. Get off the national level. Let this new president get sworn in. Get involved in Washington and vote on the important shit you need to be voting on, and start talking to those black caucus members differently. But go back to your district and do something for your people. They voted you in, and they probably getting tired of seeing you on MSNBC and not at home doing nothing.
So go ahead and run whatever y'all gonna run. But listen, if it's all about y'all, if you don't believe in bipartisanship and you have a Trump trifecta, then y'all work this out amongst yourselves. We're gonna sit on the sidelines and eat our popcorn.
She's gonna say, well, it won't be no black popcorn, god damn it. Your ass and your friends who plan on sitting on the sideline and chilling while The rest of the country is in a disarray waiting to see what... I can't even believe that you would say that. As an elected official, as an employee, as a servant, as whatever the hell you are, nobody. I could not ever tell my boss, nah, I don't like the way y'all about to do that. So y'all go ahead and do what you're going to do. And I'm going to sit over here and eat my popcorn. No, you can't do that. Not on the clock. Not under the realm of responsibility. Just don't give a damn. We're going to sit on the sideline. And remember, she said that. It's people who love that, too. People who love that dumbass talk. That's some dumbass talk. You sitting here listening to an elected official. Now, I can understand her opposing Trump. But no matter what, we know how this country is run. We know how this country is set up. And with her accepting a role as a congressman, you are not guaranteed the position of the majority at any point. It happens and it don't happen, and it might happen. It may never happen. So she has to learn how to work within a government, even from the minority position, especially being an African American. We ain't in no position to be sitting on the sideline eating no motherfucking popcorn. Ever. We don't be doing that. We don't need to be.
And as you're eating that popcorn, because tomorrow could be a long day, maybe they'll get it worked out soon, maybe they won't. What does that look like to you? What does success look like to you? Because there is the business of governing that has to get done. They got to get a speaker so that they can get various things done, including January 6th, the certification of the election of the president, the vice president. What are you looking to see happen tomorrow? What are you most interested in?
Honestly, I'm not that concerned about January 6th. I know you just threw that in there, but my candidate didn't win, so you know it.
Damn. I that's how people who I know have been talking. You know, people who are just regular citizens who really can afford. They did their job. They voted. They voted for a losing candidate, or they voted for a winning candidate, or I voted for a candidate who didn't win. Jill Stein is who I voted for. She didn't win, but I'm not gonna get just disengaged from being a citizen of the United States of America. There's a whole lot of other shit that matters to me, and the person who won is not the person I voted for, but the person who I voted for did make some promises that I like to see come to pass. And if Jasmine Crockett and her popcorn eating ass is gonna just sit back and chill as an elected official, I don't think that's acceptable. I'd recall her ass. Talking about sitting back chilling. Hell no.
If it gets delayed, I'm okay with that. But what I am interested in seeing is how savvy his right flank will be if they actually will go ahead and extract blood the same way that they extracted out of McCarthy, right? That's how we got back to putting Chip Roy on rules along with a few other people that have blown things up and made it very difficult for any speaker to actually conduct their business. They've had to take up things such as these continuing resolutions on suspension instead of actually taking them through rules because they couldn't get the rules passed. In addition to that, I'm curious to see if they get him back down to that one speaker vote, right, to vacate the speaker. Right now in the proposed rules, it's going to take a lot of people, and they have to come from the Republican side, which is very interesting. We have never seen that. Not that the Democrats have ever moved to vacate the speaker anyway. He's always been, or their speaker has always been vacated by someone on their side. But I think that they are going to extract a little bit of blood out of Mike Johnson if he is going to become speaker again. But they really don't have anybody else. So this is really a matter of who can hold out the longest. But considering the fact that Trump went crawling to Chip Roy today in a phone call, I just think that it's funny because, you know, MAGA believes that Trump is this big, mean guy and he's the strong man. But here it is. He has threatened Chip Roy not once, not twice, but he's threatened him a number of times. And Chip Roy always stands up to him. Yeah. And now it's Trump that's calling Chip Roy begging for a vote. Yeah.
Yeah. People do beg for votes. And I would not say crawling, though. Let me tell you something. I think most Republicans, even the ones who do stand firmly on their ground and say what they say, I haven't seen any of them not shift over the last, or during the Trumpacy, during Trump's time. But even sooner than that. But, I guess what I'm trying to say, and it didn't even come out right, is this. I'm tired of people like trying to clown Trump like, ha, you ain't the president. Elon Musk is the president. I don't like that kind of shit. I'm going to tell you why, though. And like her, trying to make Trump look dumb or stupid or small or whatever. I don't like that kind of stuff. Because no matter what, people are going to criticize Trump, Biden, and all of that. But the only thing that I got to say is, until Trump got involved in politics, he wasn't a hated person in this country. So as a person, he wasn't hated. He wasn't looked at as a racist, even though they had that Central Park 5 ad that he put up and all that. That doesn't define Trump. Every time you hear Trump's name, you didn't think of the Central Park 5 ad that he run. Or if I didn't really know he did it until after the fact. But anyway, I'm just saying that in his calling card is racism. We saw him with Al Sharpton, who black people love. We saw him at Mike Tyson fights. We saw him hanging around Bob Arum in the boxing world and at big entertainment events and involved heavily in Vegas and getting into the reality TV and all of that. I'm just saying he wasn't a hated man. He gets into politics and of course beats Hillary Clinton. You got an X on your goddamn back for the rest of your life. That's just all it is to it. And I just have to slow myself down and say not so fast with this stuff. Because they're still not changing. They're still not doing anything for us. And they want us to help them get rid of Donald Trump so that they can keep giving us nothing. Let the man loose. Let Elon Musk get involved. There's not a president that we've ever had who hasn't had advisors who are either current or former heads of some of the largest companies in the country. They've been and they take donations from them and advice. And I would rather my president take advice from the head of a huge company than to take money from him. Trump done fucked up and took both. But if I had it my way, it'd just be the advice and not the money with it. I don't like that part. It's dangerous. But Democrats been doing it. It's Democratic. People fighting so hard now because the businessmen who aren't well positioned like Elon Musk is are whining like little bitches because they not there. They wouldn't be complaining if they were the ones nuzzled up to the president, but they're pissed off because it ain't them, and they got their politicians out trying to get the shit back right, and I hope it never gets back right. I hope history and the course of this country just continue to do what it's been doing, just move on, but we need some input. We need to change lanes, and we're allowing them to take us back where we don't want to be, under the control of the Republicans and the Democrats. Because Donald Trump is Republicans who pray every night before they go to bed that something terrible happened and he won't be in power when they wake up, and the man keeps waking up. They don't want him there, and I want to know why. What is going on? He's talking about releasing the FBI files from the 60s on Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King, who was being surveilled by the CIA, by the FBI, by local police departments. If you're, we all know now, peacefully trying to help your people, why is the FBI even looking at you? Why can't race of people who came from slaves rise up in organized protest against their past in this country and against their current treatment, against the murders and the rapes and all that other stuff? Why can't a group of people legally do that? Because the United States of America ain't with it. So they put the FBI and the CIA on this guy, and we need to know what happened. and any other files through that era when the civil rights era died. And we all just sitting around with the watered down people who are willing to accept the definition of who we are to them, instead of letting them know who we are and seeing to it that they accept that definition of us. Instead, they have defined us, and we've accepted it. And we keep accepting it by participating in the support of people like Jasmine Crockett. She's got to stop. And people like her have to stop. Because there's a group of black people who believe in her and who like her and who follow her, and they hear her little smirky attitude and all. That's not what we need. And we need somebody going to talk about us first. And not with no attitude. We don't need no attitude. We good.
It's interesting because Chip Roy, Trump's already used the I'll primary you thing on Chip Roy. Chip Roy tends to beat everybody who runs against him. He made the point the other day that if Trump goes against him and he loses 30 points, still wins the primary and still wins the election. So it is interesting to see how that all goes down. There are a couple things coming up. The continuing resolution that does have to be dealt with, that's March. That's about 96 news cycles away. There is the issue of the debt ceiling, which Donald Trump has flip-flopped on in the past, but now he wants something done with it. What are the priorities as Democrats that you're looking at? What are the things that you'd like to see done in this Congress that your participation can help get done?
So I absolutely want to make sure that this is done in a bipartisan way.
Why must it be done in a bipartisan way? That's the only way the government moves. But now, because you're in the minority, you're trying to make sure everything is done in a bipartisan way because they don't need you. They won't soon. I'm sorry. They need you now. But as soon as Trump swears in and he has his supermajority, and if they can all, stay in line, that's the other key. If they don't all stay in line and vote together, then it's no big deal. It happened to Obama too. We remember that. But what you're saying here is you're ready they don't need you. And now you're going to drag your feet. You guys are all, and I don't know if the American public is, I'm going to just say this shit. You guys are sabotaging the country by not just at least throwing the car into neutral. Don't go into drive and don't go into reverse, but don't do shit. And just go into the swearing in of our new president, and then let's move forward, and then go back to whatever y'all do. Because I think Trump got something for the Democrats this time. I really do. And if he don't, hell, another part of history that we must record. But I'm looking forward to it. And I'm seeing how upset these people are. But I'm very disgusted to hear a black person who, even if, see, we're in the month of January now. Next month is Black History Month. She needs to be gearing up for Black History Month because it's the shortest month of the year. And it's our opportunity. Martin Luther King, all the things that he fought for need to be regurgitated. And they need to drive it so hard and so clear. And as members of the government, make sure the government participate in getting the word and the education and the proper history out there, and it'll make you guys' job easier. You'll gain more support when people understand what the hell you're talking about, because right now they don't, because you don't talk about black people enough. And when other people who aren't black see our black leaders not talking about us, see that we're talking about some other shit, got nothing to do with black people, then you tend to believe, oh, they're good. But what it is, that everyone needs to be clear on is we're not good. We've just accepted the definition that they've given us, and I don't like it. I think we need to redefine ourselves to who we really are, and not let folks like Jasmine Crockett, who may be a little privileged being a member of Congress, in the treatment and the knowledge and the inside info, but it doesn't do a damn thing for the rest of us, and that's the issue I got. She better start reaching back and get out of the training boot camp or whatever. Kamala Harris started that shit made her the national head of her losing ass campaign, made her feel like she was because at first they was over there talking about the girl and shit. She wasn't fucking pulled into the Democratic Party. They didn't like her. And she's a little ghetto, a little rough around the edges for them. But they found they could use her because she could be that little, what she is now. Get on TV and speak to us. But we ain't listening. We don't want to hear this shit. And that's how she's going to get into the party, is by being so sister number one and everybody like her so much. They just be like, yeah, but she means well. Nah, she don't. That girl been to college. She know better.
Think that Mike Johnson will ever be able to guarantee his entire caucus. He wasn't able to do it when he had a larger majority. And so what does bipartisanship look like? It looks like making sure that the priorities that the Democrats have, which are really the priorities of everyday working folk, making...
That's some bullshit. The everyday working folk nominated and elected Donald Trump president of the United States. What is she talking about? The Democrats have their congregation believing that Democrats are everyday old work, the bus drivers, the school teachers, just good old everyday people. Well, I used to believe that shit too. Democrats are so disconnected. They still say shit like that, like the everyday working person isn't. No, it's not the truth. And it may never have been the truth, but they sure sold that story until you really go down to the lab and run a few tests and you see the results. And it's just a lie.
Sure that we've got, obviously there was the fight about the funding for child cancer research, making sure that we're protecting Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, making sure that we're doing the smart things that will take care of Americans is what we want to do. What we're not looking forward to is them trying to ram through the Trump tax scam again. Those tax cuts, they expire in 2025. And so that's why he wanted to make sure that debt ceiling was raised. And so this is where we will be able to use our leverage, knowing that they only have a 2-seat majority when it comes down to it, which means that they will only be allowed to lose one vote on anything that they want to pass through the House.
Are there circumstances you can see in which Mike Johnson reaches over to Hakeem Jeffries and says there are things that have to get done? We did see that a little bit in the last House. You don't see much of that going on this time?
I mean, he may reach, but let me tell you, he gonna feel these reaches.
Damn. You see, that talk, what she just said right there is just straight out some bullshit. Don't nobody want to hear her talking like that. It sounds tough. You just lost the goddamn election. The Democrats are in the minority in the House. The Democrats are the minority in the Senate. And Donald Trump has a majority in the Supreme Court. And what is she sitting up here talking about? It would be so wise to be more liked universally. It would be so wise to if you have to reach across the other side, have some credibility and let them know that you ain't just some evil person who argue and fight and nickname people and embarrass them in front of the cameras, which you're good at, but I just don't think it's going to be good for us. I just don't see it.
Because when he allowed Elon Musk and Vivek to jump onto social media and blow up what had been, days and months long negotiations between Democrats and Republicans, and you allow a tweet to blow it all up, well, first of all, the only current...
Yeah, but that's what advisors do. The Democrats and the Republicans might be negotiating something, and the Republicans might be taken advantage of, or the short end, or not winning the negotiation in the president-elect and their people's building. Like, hell no, we ain't going with that. We have advisors who tell us to scrap that negotiation you guys been doing, and we moving on with something else. I would not be shocked if the Democrats did it. I wouldn't be shocked if the Republicans did it. It's something that I would say is wise, what they call pragmatic shit. Motherfucker, you realize this ain't gonna work for us, so we're gonna do this. And she act like you got to be bound by a negotiation. That's why it's a fucking negotiation. At any point, either party can get up and walk away. I just don't like the way the language of politics is. A flip-flop is the other guy. The word flip-flop is commonly used in politics, but no one ever uses it about their own side. So if it's a real word, are you telling me in the history of the country, nobody on your side never flip-flopped? Only the other side? That's the kind of shit that we dealing with every day. And then she comes off like a person who won, and she didn't, you guys. She didn't win. That's why she's angry, and that's why she's coming off like this, because they got nowhere to go but drag their feet for another couple of weeks, and then they swear in Trump, and then they really will be on the sideline eating popcorn because they won't need their votes.
See that we have when we are lawmakers, whether it's the state or federal level, is our word. And so if you will not honor your word because somebody randomly who's not elected sends out a tweet, that's no way to govern, and we can't trust you. It was the same issue that McCarthy had. Democrats couldn't trust him, nor could.
If the Democrats don't trust you and you're a Republican, that's fine. You can have a long and healthy career. You don't need the Democrats to trust you to be a good Republican. And they don't do pinky fingers, and they don't cut their fingers and press them together and none of that shit either. She's trying, I don't know what happened with the Democrats where they just got their ass whipped so bad they just giving it up. Like, you know, letting us know some things that you probably should keep quiet, like how good friends you are with the Republicans, like for real, wink, wink. You know, we all think it's an argument and a negotiation. You sitting there with your little heart broke because President-elect Trump was like, fuck that, shut it down. We're not doing that. My advisors, it be Elon Musk. Or do you guys honestly believe no rich millionaire, billionaire, whatever, has advised a White House president? Of course they have. Absolutely. That's why they get the tax cuts. It ain't no new shit to Trump. And Democrats' tax cuts, if you was a working person, you probably wouldn't even and understood politics. Their shit is what they think is good. It could be more. It could be way more. It could be way less. It could be way different. But what it ain't going to be is it ain't going to be the Democrats liking. And it ain't going to be to a lot of the Republicans liking. And it's going to be new. Aren't y'all excited? Aren't you? I am. Shit. I'm so fucking tired of the United States just being like this. Our policy with Israel. You know what I'm saying? We just have things that just go on and on and on, and nobody wakes up and figures that this could be fixed. This could be better. This could be safer. You know, we pour so much money into defense for something that might happen when we had some kind of at this level, some type of a world understanding where we were, you know, kind of united in that way, and nobody. We have not gotten past taking from, you know, if somebody got something over there and we want it, if they don't want to sell it for what we want to pay, we got to take it because we're not paying more. So we're going to figure out a way to get it for free then. It's like, man, the world should work different. Black people should be different. But if we're going to all pour our votes into one hat like we've been doing, she cannot be the recipient of that kind of support. And people like her cannot be the recipient of that kind of support. We need people who are going to get up there and fight for us and talk like she's talking, but the words that's coming out got to be about us. It got to be about something else other than what she's talking about. Impeding Trump's early progress in his presidency, just impeding it, just sticking your foot out in front of the old man when he walks by, that kind of shit. Let him be the president. He is still your president. He's still my president. He ain't my president. That old bullshit. I get it. But we need to grow up and we need to do better because I do know how many tough black people I've talked to talk about if they woulda, shoulda, coulda, ain't gonna, because we're not in a position to do any of this stuff that our spirits might speak on, but in reality, they got us pegged, they got us categorized, they got us defined, and we just sitting here each day living up to that. to that. It's almost like Wikipedia. Anybody can update the shit. Well, that it shouldn't be that way. Our story needs to be written by us, and it needs to be told by us as well.
His own party trusts him, and so therefore he got kicked out. I think Mike Johnson is in a real big pickle. I think if he had actually just went ahead, pushed forward with the CR as it had been negotiated, then he would be in a position to say, hey, Hakeem, if I got a problem, can you help me out? But he's not in that position.
Yeah, work against your party with Hakeem Jeffries. You know, speaking of that, do you guys remember during the election when Kamala kept talking about from the outside of the government? From the outside, Donald Trump shut it down, the border policy that Biden wanted to pass. Just a little word, you know, for those of you who may not know. And it ain't nothing they all speak about, because Kamala Harris sure absolutely didn't. But maybe Donald Trump called Hakeem Jeffries, because Hakeem Jeffries voted no on the Biden border policy as well. And he's the minority leader, so I don't know. Go figure. But nobody seemed like that was a big deal. They didn't say, ooh, you know, they just played like it didn't happen. It happened. It happened. And this young lady right here, ooh, I just want to shake her. Stop, Jasmine, stop fanning them flames and just close this out. Let the new Congress come in and the new president and let's move on. Let's try to progress this country and let's try to get a bite out of it. We need something, you know, coming back this way. California, Gavin Newsom, he gaslighted us. He put the people through all this little emotional roller coaster. He had these people investigating, all to culminate in nothing. That's California reparations look like.
Right now.
Oh shit, she done. Yeah, folks, it's just kind of sad when you think about it, that we have so much to say about all kind of things. We elect these people, we believe in what they tell us to do, and then they get up there and they to make a left where they should have made a right. You know what I'm saying? Or they slamming on the brakes when they should have been pushing down on the gas pedal some more. It's those things that just let you know and start paying attention if you aren't. And if you are, I wish I could just come to each one of you individually and hug you, because it makes me feel good to know that I'm just not talking to air. I mean, I'm talking to people who really do understand that we can do better. This country can do better, but not if we keep doing the same things we've been doing. And she's talking about changing and growing the party, but she ain't talking about like doing anything different. She's just talking about the Democrats gaining power. You can't gain power over a country full of people who don't believe in you, who don't listen to you, who know you lied to us. Every one of you. Anybody who's ever been in a meeting with Biden and didn't come out of that meeting and go to the press and say, well, he just don't seem on his game, or just tell the truth. This is the president of the United States. Or tell somebody. I mean, at my job, we have a duty to report that kind of stuff. If I see a guy sitting at a console operating a segment of pipeline or something where he could endanger hundreds or thousands of people, and he's just sitting there like playing with his lips or you know what I'm saying, or dozing off, and I don't, as a co-worker, friend, citizen, I can be in trouble for not reporting, hey man, this dude is not with it. This is the president of the United States, so that really multiply what I just said by 1 million, and that lets you know how serious Kamala Harris and all the rank and file, all the way down, top to bottom, how much they think about us. And then when the cat's out the bag, then they run like little scared kids, like little children who don't know what to do or where to go. It's sad. That's our Democratic Party. And that's why my mission is, like, when I run into people and I think they might have an issue that I can help them with, I do. And I think some people got an issue and I can help them with it. And it's being a Democrat. It's being closed-minded like that. You can not change who you are by just opening up your mind and just listening to the other side of a lot of things. The other side is that part they don't want you to see, because you might like it better than the side you was on, or it might make you understand the side you were on better and be more critical of it. Hell, be a Democrat, be a critical one, be a vocal one. Question shit, because they will formulate some lies that your normal natural common sense would even question. Nah, nobody go through all that. Oh yeah, they will. And they do. It's just how it is, folks. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And you know what? I didn't say it. I'm kind of getting over a little cold. I had a little light cold through the holidays, but I'm good now. I did want to say happy holidays. I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas and definitely a Happy New Year. Let's get ready for this inauguration, and then let's get ready for Black History Month. I'm going to pop up with some stories on Black history and some little known facts to share with you guys, to motivate you, to rekindle that fire that it may not have gone out in some of us, but it's definitely like on simmer. We need to get it off a simmer and turn it up and love and live and do life differently than what we've been doing. All right. So I'll see you guys on the next one.